Hello, my name is Angela DeSenza, and today I'm going to be talking about the most important thing I learned this semester, and I have a couple notes. The important thing that I learned this semester is going to be the amendments, because they still apply to us today, and the most important thing about them are just the rights that they've given us. For example, like speech and the 19th Amendment giving the woman's right to vote. And that's really important because we still have those freedoms today, and it's the 20th century now, so it was written a long time ago, and these amendments still apply to us. The amendments also give us rules to follow, and just so that everyone has the same guidelines of what's okay and what isn't okay. And that's important for equality, especially because the United States always seems to be struggling with equality, or people don't think that we're equal, but we all should be equal because we all have the same rights and rules to follow. And then that going along with like freedom, the amendments gave us freedom of speech, freedom to bear arms and vote and stuff like that. And that still applies to us today, so that's really important, especially so everyone can have a voice and like an opinion and stuff, and just at least feel like they're not under the control of the government so much. They're allowed to do things that we want to do, like in other countries such as monarchies, I think, where they have one king or like one leader, and then like everyone, they're under that power. That person makes decisions, stuff like that. So the amendments also help to keep order and organization in the world, which is important, because if we didn't have organization, then I feel like everything would just be chaos all the time, and people would be running around and not knowing what to do. Like we have the right to bear arms, but there's also rights and regulations that like are included in like voting. Like you're not allowed to vote until you're 18. You're not allowed to buy a gun until you're 18. Sorry, excuse me. And I think that's important because we shouldn't be allowed. It just, organization is important to keep everyone sane, basically. My favorite amendments, I've already talked about speech and women's right to vote. Speech is important because without speech, we wouldn't be able to voice our opinions and like voice of change, along with protesting and just having a say in how you feel about certain situations. I think is really important for people, especially nowadays, because there's a lot of controversial topics that get talked about on a daily basis, and if we weren't allowed to talk about how we feel about them, then there would never be change. And if enough people have the same opinion, then eventually there's going to be change in certain things, and most of the time that's what we need. So I think that's really important. And protesting, it does a lot, because like the government, like riots, people don't want riots, so they'll do something to stop the riots and please people. So that's important. Women's right to vote, well, I'm 17, so I'm not 18 yet, but it's gonna apply to me when in 2 months. And so that it's important to me, because if I didn't have the right to vote but my brother did, I wouldn't think that's really fair. Like, why does he get to vote and I don't? So I think the woman's right to vote was very helpful. I just think that women also deserve a say in who leads us, and like it shouldn't just be up to the men, because what if there was a woman running for president and sexism was a thing, and so the men all voted for the man running for president, but all the women were to vote for the woman because like people were sexist or something. So I just think it's more equal if you let everyone vote, or everyone at least gets a chance at some point to vote, instead of just letting one gender vote, because it wouldn't be fair to the woman not to have a say, especially when there's no difference. We work, we work now, we cook, clean, all the same things that men do, so why shouldn't we have the right to vote? Government is important to me because if I understand how the government works, then I can understand how if I want to change the government, I can understand how to do it, and then what kind of changes I would want for the better, not just like personal issues. But if I understand things, I can pick a side on where I stand instead of just falling in the middle all the time and just like, whatever, don't care. I do want to understand how everything works so that I can have an opinion on what side I'm on. And just understanding it just gives me a chance to make change along with everyone else. And having an opinion on what I agree on is just like everyone else. I mean, that's all.